Hello, welcome back to Ode to Venus. My name is Michelle, and this is where I do tough love tarot readings with some other stuff. You can check it out in my videos. So, I want to preface this reading with a trigger warning. I am a tough love tarot reader. I will only read you what you need to hear, and I will never sugarcoat things, and I will never twist things into a false positive. I intentionally make my readings this way because I believe it's a lot more productive than if I were to fill you with false hope or tell you something is coming when it isn't, because I truly believe that change starts from inside of us. So if we can't look inside, nothing outside is going to come in that we want or that we're ready for. So, tough love, no sugarcoating, no false positives. I'm very, very blunt. If you are not into any of these things, please do not watch this reading. I am not the reader for you, okay? Also, this is a general reading for the public, so if you would like a more personalized reading, the links are in the description below. But because this one is more general, just take what resonates with you and leave what does not resonate. You know your situation better than I, so use your discernment in that case. And one last announcement, I just started a Patreon. So if you want to support this channel, there are a few different tiers that you can choose from. Everyone who joins the Patreon is going to get early access to these general readings. I'm thinking I'm going to make it like a month out, but maybe that's too far out, maybe like 15 days, depends. Maybe I'll ask people like how far out they would want it. But definitely you get early access to these readings, you get personalized things every month, and depending on what tier you choose, there's a lot of fun things that we can work together on. So yeah, all those links are going to be in the description. Let's get started. Hi Leo. All right, welcome to your September reading. If you're coming back from last month, we're doing the same 4 categories. What you're avoiding, how you're bullshitting yourself and others, consequences if you don't take action, and message from your shadow self. So take a big, deep breath for me, Leo. So I'm using my astrology deck along with my transparent tarot deck, which was introduced to me by my Leo friend. Hello. I love this deck. It's so great. Okay, here are your cards. I'll hold them up because it's not the greatest visually. But, yeah. Alright. So, what you're avoiding, healing, and the High Priestess. So, yeah, there's something that you still need to heal mentally, emotionally. It's just very, it's some pretty deep stuff. Chiron is the wounded healer after all, so if you have been over giving, that's another message. You're kind of avoiding your own healing because you were trying to heal other people around you. Very Virgo of you. Very Virgo of you. It's like, well, as long as I'm helping other people and they feel good, then I feel good because I made them feel good. But you don't feel good on the inside. You're hurting on the inside. So you need to look inside, and you need to really start healing the things that affect you on every level, like spiritually, emotionally, physically. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be, not fun, but like you have a lot to gain if you go inside and heal. You have so much to gain. It's like really, that's why I was like, ooh, when I was like shuffling. But yeah, this there's like a little message in this book, so I'll read it to you. In the pages of a secret book lies the key to your inner look. This insight is a truer gaze, the wisest light to guide your days. So that's cute. Yeah, so you need to look inside and you need to start doing some healing. We have your fourth house card here, so definitely familial things. So definitely anything from your childhood, like childhood traumas, relationships with family members. You don't have to reach out to those family members, but just heal it inside so then you can move on, right? But let's see how you're bullshitting yourself and others. We have Saturn return, age, clarified by the 8 of Cups. It's like really hard to show these because of the glare, and you can see my face. That's awkward. Okay, that's better. Yeah. So how you're bullshitting yourself is maybe for some of you, I'm hearing, oh, well, I'm too old for this, or I'm too old to change, or I'm too old for this and that. It's like you're using your age as an excuse to avoid doing the healing work. Because have you ever met those people who are just like toxic, and then you try to point out their toxic traits and they're like, well, that's just how I am. It's like, well, yeah, but you can also change who you are, kind of a thing. Not to say that you guys are toxic, but it's like that kind of mentality of like, well, I'm too blank to change. I'm like already set in my ways. And you guys are fixed signs, so you are fixated on a certain mindset, or you're fixated on some kind of emotional want that is unrealistic. And the reason why I say that is because the 8 of Cups here, you can see this person is climbing up this emotional cup tower to a cup that is not connected. So it's kind of like you're missing a few steps, but you're trying to go after it anyway, and it's not going to work out for you, and you're going to be confused. But in reality, the foundation that you have tried to start or build, it hasn't been completed. Because the thing is, it's like I do see this as yours, like these are your cups, but you haven't finished something emotionally to find your emotional fulfillment. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you've done some emotional healings for some things, but you're not quite there yet, and you keep trying to reach this like, light at the end of the tunnel, but you still got the tunnel to go through. So you have to heal something that you haven't looked at, and it's going to be rough, and it's going to be hard because Saturn is, tough daddy Saturn. He ate his own kids. I love to bring that up every time Saturn comes up, which is quite often, especially for September. Saturn's not fucking around. So yeah, you have to heal something in order to reach that grand peak. The best way to finish that foundation is to revisit what you've already healed. That way you have some kind of paradigm to guide you emotionally through the rest of the healing that you need to do, and that way you won't feel so isolated, or you won't feel so alone in the healing, or overwhelmed. I mean, you might feel overwhelmed anyway because it will be kind of intense, but if you go back and look at yourself and just remind yourself like, oh, I did that, I healed myself then, I can do it again. So you can do it again, and you have to go back into that mentality of, again, being that strong Leo, that lion, right? Where you can get yourself out of a situation, where you can push forward. But you just have to remember who you are, and you have to remember that your skills and capabilities are there. And I know sometimes you doubt yourself, or if someone criticizes you, then you begin doubting whatever they criticize. But you have to, look at where you are now. Look at how far you've come. You can keep doing it. You can do it again. You can do it every day for the rest of your life. It just feels very heavy right now because it is. But once you get there, it's going to be so good. All right, we're going to keep going because I want you to see the other cards. Consequences if you don't take action. Fourth house roots and the devil card. This is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to continue to be chained to your fourth house issues. So your family problems, your past life karma problems, your childhood trauma problems, anything from your past, the roots, you're going to be chained to that because the devil. It's also talking about codependency, addictions. So, and the thought of holding on to your childhood, what's it called? Coping mechanisms. That is like, you find comfort in that. It's like you find comfort restricting yourself to something that's already happened because you've already experienced it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, go back to when you've healed yourself before, like when you've overcome something before, because then you will remind yourself where you've come from, who the fuck you are, and how you can move forward again, being that strong Leo person that you are. So unrestrict yourself from your past self, okay? And you do that by going back and looking and just choosing to unhook yourself from the past. Yeah, so pretty self-explanatory there. And then message from your shadow self. Jupiter, abundance, yay, clarified by the Knight of Coins. So the universe is trying to bring you something. My Leo friend is like rolling right now. I know if you're watching this, you're just like, I know, I hear you. It's so funny. Yeah, so you have a lot of abundance that is waiting for you. It's like literally quite proposing itself to you, and you are unable to accept it because you are restricted to the past. So this is only after you do the work, and it's only after you unhook yourself from the things that you thought were good enough for you because you thought that the future, like you were undeserving of it, or that you might not be good enough for it. You are, and you have to believe it to really achieve it. I was trying not to rhyme, but I just can't help myself. But yeah, you gotta believe it to achieve it. So it's looking good. Well, okay, well it's looking good, but it's also looking intense. So it's kind of like it goes hand in hand. So like, yeah, there is gonna be some intense healing stuff that you're gonna have to do. Would highly recommend you get a therapist for that, because if you are feeling isolated and alone, and no one can help you, or like the people around you can't understand what you're going through, or they don't have the capacity or the skill set to help you through whatever, find a professional. I promise it's going to help you so much more when you are able to not internalize things anymore, because you have internalized a lot of things from your childhood. Like, look at all these chains, you know? So you're kind of like just staying in that headspace because it's easy, and it's not easy, but it's easier than actually feeling the pain and the hurt that you need to purge again. But if you do that, you have so much abundance for you, okay? So Leo, happy September. Give yourself way more credit than you've been giving yourself. Go back to the past. Look at how you've healed yourself before. Allow past you to teach current you a new lesson, so then you can reach the new you. All right. See you next month.